I'm Marty Stouffer. As the days grow longer and warmer, millions of birds wing their way north to mate and raise young. Soon after their arrival, every forest, park, and backyard in America echoes with the familiar songs of spring. The most spectacular courtship rituals in the animal kingdom are performed by birds. Yet their songs, dances, and colorful adornment are more than just a means of showing off. The intricate rituals are a complex form of communication. Each visual and acoustic signal is uniquely choreographed to reveal the species, age, and even overall fitness of the suitor. To discover more about these elaborate springtime ceremonies, let's join our feathered friends as they heed the call to courtship. Springtime is a celebration of new life. Flowers unfold, insects buzz, and sunshine warms the earth. This is a time for singing. Birdsong was the first music ever heard by human ears. Throughout the ages, their rich melodies have influenced our own musical forms of art. The songs of courting birds are not always as jubilant as they may sound. Some repertoires are, in effect, verbal threats, which enforce territorial boundaries. The posturing and vocalizing of male birds function to limit physical combat. Only occasionally do border disputes lead to actual fighting. Not all birds sing during courtship. Male short-eared owls impress their mates with loud wing claps during flight. Some of the ritual and rivalry of spring takes place around our homes. This Ohio family shares their residence with a mockingbird that takes himself a little too seriously during the breeding season. Mockingbirds are one of the most musically talented of all songbirds. They're also highly territorial. So territorial, in fact, that some mockingbirds will even attack their own mirror image. Futile as it is, this mockingbird's instinct to drive off intruders is all-consuming. Territorial defense is important for birds, as it assures a monopoly over resources such as food and nest sites. Mourning doves are another familiar backyard species with an interesting courtship behavior. To win the attention of females, courting males sing their lonesome song. Yet it takes more than just a lyrical voice to prove their pedigree. One way male doves demonstrate their strength and stamina to females is to chase them. Females may even encourage this behavior, as if to test their suitor's ability to protect the nest. Once his advances are accepted, the male's courtship strategy changes dramatically from aggressiveness to tenderness. Close cousin to the mourning dove is the white-winged dove of the southwestern United States. With closely related species, especially when habitat overlaps, it's vital that courtship signals be distinct. An accidental mating with the wrong species could produce infertile offspring, or no offspring at all. To avoid mismatches, courtship rituals evolved primarily to ensure that each individual would recognize and mate only with members of its own species. Unlike doves, which form monogamous pair bonds, wild turkeys are polygamous, meaning the males breed with several different females. Their iridescent feathers and other colorful ornamentation all play an important role in courtship. Since disease, parasites, and vitamin deficiencies would affect the color of these features, females are able, at a glance, to gauge a suitor's overall health. To lure hens from the surrounding woods, the male turkeys, the toms, assemble in a strutting arena. Toms live by the rule, if you've got it, flaunt it. During the mating season, sage grouse also gather at a traditional breeding site called a lek. Here the males perform an elaborate ceremony to impress mates and intimidate rivals. The hens play hard to get. Their indifference inflames the competition among the cocks. A male's position on the lek determines his success in attracting mates. Normally, females prefer the contenders in center stage. In the early light of dawn, the dancing of the sharp-tailed grouse begins. These grouse also congregate at leks, where the cocks dazzle the hens with their fancy footwork. In a lek system, only a small fraction of dominant males mate with the majority of the females. As a result, Any feature that enhances the reproductive status of the few breeding males is inherited by most of the offspring. In time, these features, regardless of their survival value, can become quite exaggerated. The extraordinary courting displays of grouse are a good example of this evolutionary process, known as natural selection. The prairie chicken performs another rendition of the grouse family's song and dance routine. The blue grouse, another still. For life in the forest, this spruce grouse uses a different strategy. Instead of congregating on leks, woodland grouse perform solo. The ruffed grouse male sends his hopeful message resounding through the forest by drumming his wings. Above wet, grassy meadows in our northern states, a strange sound fills the sky. It's the winnowing of a common snipe, advertising his availability as a mate. Snipe court by diving through the air, creating a unique and lovely vibration with their tail feathers. While birds are best known for their songs, many of the auditory signals used for courtship are actually produced by their bills, feet, wings, or tails. Filmed in slow motion, one can see the snipe's stiff outer tail feathers, which vibrate as air rushes through them. As simple as it seems, avian communication is extremely complex. A bird's vocalizations and gestures vary according to the weather, its social situation, and habitat. Not noted for its musical flair, the pygmy nuthatch's courtship calls are loud and repetitive. This type of communication is most effective in the open pine forests where they live. For most male birds, luring a female into their territory is one thing, convincing her to stay and mate another matter entirely. In mammals, pair bonds are forged by sharing everyday activities, such as eating or sleeping. To reinforce their pair bond, birds preen. Among the sculpted spires of Utah's canyons echo the hoarse calls of ravens. To search for mates, ravens take to the sky. To the north, the arid lands of South Dakota are a harsh and desolate place to raise a family. Yet the rites of spring are celebrated here as anywhere else. As scavengers, turkey vultures find this hostile environment quite suitable to their needs. It's hard to fathom how a creature as unbecoming as a turkey vulture charms the opposite sex. But whatever qualities a female looks for in a mate, she chooses the father of her offspring very carefully. The reason is simple. Male birds release up to 400 billion sperm in a single mating. Such excess affords them virtually unlimited opportunities to reproduce. By contrast, females contribute only a few eggs. Since the eggs she lays represent her sole chance at reproduction each year, she exercises much more control and caution in selecting her mate. Perhaps the most graceful courtship ritual of all is performed by the scissor-tailed flycatcher. As the mating season unfolds, our senses reawaken to the color, sound, and movement of birds fulfilling their roles in the annual drama of spring. Courtship displays vary dramatically from the simple to the bizarre, but for most birds, one factor remains constant: the females do the choosing. By inciting males to engage in noisy, ritualized contests, females can evaluate the fitness of their potential mates. It's a strategy designed to give only the best males a chance at fatherhood. And since passing on one's genes is the ultimate goal, few other instincts are as compelling as the call to courtship. I'm Marty Stouffer. Until next time, enjoy our wild America.